gym. Just tell us what he's kind of brought to the table, and if that's impacted you preparing for this fight.
It's not impacted me so far, but he's a cool guy. He's brought his swagger to the gym. I'm looking forward to getting to know him better. I've not had the privilege of spending too much time with him yet, because we train at separate times most of the time. So when we overlap, I like to watch him. He's a slick guy, and he's a very cool character. So I'm looking forward to watching him progress and watching him fight as well.
Cheers.
I'll jump in with one then. Now you're back at the Coldwell camp. I imagine the vibes are really good. Obviously, everyone's back in the gym together. Is that was it sort of to the end of your camp? Was that sort of a real motivating factor? The fact that you've got everyone back around you, everyone's got the same sort of goal to get back after coronavirus. Did that sort of motivate you coming forward to this fight?
Yeah, it motivates you. It's good because that's the training team that I'm used to having. We used to training for fights, and it's me, Dave, and we're working on different things. And we've got Hopi there who's come in over the last year and helped out with sparring. And it's a good atmosphere. Like I said, the vibe's good. So to have you use your team and going into a fight after COVID lockdown, to be able to have your usual camp, good stint at the gym with your usual camp is great. So yeah, we will motivate each other. I don't think motivation is something that we lack in the gym. So it's business as usual, and we've cracked on and done a good job.
I'll jump in. I've got a few questions. Aim's here for Boxing News TV. Smash that like and subscribe button, because they are giving you a thrill in the form of Jordan Gill. Jordan, firstly, are you shaving the hair before your fight, or are you keeping the bonnet that you got right now?
I'm not trusting myself with a pair of clippers in this hotel. So I'm keeping it, and they've all asked if you're keeping it, and why have you kept it? And the reason why is because I've not wanted to risk anything. I thought if I get COVID from a barber, from going into the barbers, then I'm never going to forgive myself if I have to pull out the fight, because I've failed the test. So I've not taken any chances. I'm keeping the hair as a tribute to lockdown. And like I say, I'm getting mixed reviews on the hair, but it's probably the thing that's least on my mind.
Last time we saw you on British Shore was in a losing effort against Tanoka, in which after the fight you revealed you had health issues. Do you feel any pressure to perform on the basis that this is the first fight back for British viewers to see you in the ring since that fight?
Not any added pressure. If I won that fight and went into this fight, there'd still be the same amount of pressure. Obviously, it's a must-win fight, and every fight's a must-win fight. I think you've got to prepare diligently for every contest that you go into, and I have done this time. And the pressure that's always there is there, and the main pressure on my behalf is the pressure that I put on myself, and I perform better under pressure, and you'll see that.
I want to get your comments on something I saw earlier, Jordan. Interesting in an interview I saw on Sky Sports Boxing Channel with Matthew Macklin. He picked Reece Bellotti to win in your fight. He questioned the fight with Tanoka, and he believes that there's something more to the defeat. He said he spoke to a few people and heard that you've been put down in the gym, you don't like body shots, questioning your toughness. Can you clarify if there's any truth in that, the rumours that Matthew Macklin heard?
There's no truth in that. There's no truth. I've not actually seen it, so I'm not sure 100% what was said. But I've been in the gym with Dave for 3 years. He's never seen me touch down. He's never seen me hurt in the gym, ever. And that's headshots or body shots. So, if I'm lying, then we'll see on Saturday night, because Reece Bellotti throws plenty of good body shots, and I don't need to prove myself, but I will.
Is it hard to predict your feelings after a fight? Because, do you think after the win that you're looking for over Reece, it might feel like a chapter closed on that Tanoka defeat, and then you're back on track?
I think so. I think we'll be pushing onto big fights after this. It's a crossroads fight. What's really important for us both to win. So, we're guaranteed big fights after this, and there's plenty of big names in the featherweight division, and I'll be targeting them all.
And just your prediction for your fight against Reece?
Win at all costs.
Thanks, Jordan.
I'll jump back in, if I may.
Sure.
Yeah, Jordan, would you consider this, if all goes well on the night, would you consider this the best win of your pro career so far, or would it still be Ryan Doyle perhaps?
It's an interesting question. I think, yeah, it probably would be the best win of my career on so far. Probably, maybe not on paper because Doyle beat Bellotti, but, you know, styles make fights. And I think stylistically this is a great fight, and it's a hard fight, and it's a fight that, you know, because of the preparation and the build-up, is a fight where there's extra elements to it. And I think all things considered, this probably would be the biggest win of my career and propel me the furthest that any other fight would have done.
I want to know your feelings about the British title as well, because you've been brought up in a very traditional boxing background. Your dad's a well-known amateur trainer. You've been at the Ingle Gym in the past as well, spent some time there. Is the British title something that you kind of dreamed about as a kid and that you really want to win? Because there's a bit of a logjam for that belt at the moment. To
be honest, I've never even thought about winning the British title. It's not something that concerns me. It's a nice title. It's a nice title to win. And, you know, it's hard to keep hold of because you have to defend it 3 times to win it outright. But, you know, for me, whether I ever box for a British title or not, I'm not bothered, to be honest.
Thanks.
I'll just jump in quickly. Obviously, Bellotti's quite a come-forward guy. In this fight, do you expect to get that side from him, or do you expect for him to maybe change it up and try and box you? Obviously, that's a difficult task if he does, but, you know, when people look at the matchup, they think if he does just come forward at you, then you are going to be able to just outbox him. So what do you think boxing style we're going to get out of him?
I'm not sure. I'd expect him to come forward and try and put as much pressure on as possible. I think in the Grandelli fight, he put a lot of pressure on, but it probably wasn't as effective as he'd like it to be. I expect him to more effectively pressure this time, having learned the lessons of that defeat. So I'd expect him to come and put a lot of pressure on, and expect me to, you know, fold under that pressure, but it's something that we're not going to allow. And, you know, if he does come and try and box, then it'll be a boxing match. And either way, I'm preparing to deal what's in front of me. And I'm not doing that by looking at specifically what he does. I'm doing that by preparing myself to be as sharp and adaptable as possible in that ring.
And just finally from me, obviously looking through your social media, we can see that you're a guy that does like to keep fit, live the life, and make sure that you're always sort of boxing ready. Was it difficult with the lockdown, obviously not having all the facilities available to be able to do this? Did you find that a difficult time, or did you just sort of motivate yourself anyway?
I motivated myself. For me, it was hard to take. It's hard pill to swallow, the fact that my fight was cancelled in March. I was meant to be boxing on the Josh Kelly versus David Avanasayan card on the 28th of March, and Boris Johnson come out and locked down the country that week. So a week before that fight, which was a long time coming for me anyway, you know, it was cancelled, and that was a hard pill to swallow. So I had about 3-4 days where I felt sorry for myself, and I didn't stick to my diet and didn't do any training. I did a bit because I can't stay off it, but I felt sorry for myself for a couple of days, and I motivated myself and got back onto it. And you know, we saw the lockdown coming maybe a week before. The fight was up in the air. We didn't know if it would get cancelled or not, but you know, we knew there was a chance. And when we knew there was a chance, my coach Dave said to me, you know, if the country does get locked down and we have to train at home, then we can use this time to close the gap on people that are ahead of us and further the gap of people that are behind us. And that's exactly what we did. I motivated myself and made sure that I stocked up on the correct equipment that I needed for my training to make sure that I adapted the best way possible. And Dave was on the FaceTime with me and my dad, who trained me as an amateur 3 times a week. We didn't miss one session. Same as my S&C coach, Danny Wilson of Boxing Science. We was on FaceTime twice a week doing strength sessions and also doing conditioning sessions as well. So lockdown for me was a training camp. My nutritionist, Scott Robinson, was on the ball all the time. You know, he provided me with every little bit of support that I needed. So, you know, it couldn't have gone any better for me.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate.
Got time for one more if there's any, just before we get going.
Yeah, Jordan, if you don't mind, I know you're super focused for your fight, but I just want to pivot your mind just briefly for the headline fight in the pay-per-view of Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. Can I get your thoughts on that fight, please?
It's a great fight. Povetkin Povetkin's a good fighter. I like his style. He's a good counter puncher. But Dillian Whyte's, you know, he's got a lot of momentum. He's a bit of an animal. He's a nice guy and somebody that probably one of my favourite heavyweights because, you know, he's there to fight and he'll always give it everything in every fight. So I'm expecting to be a big fight, an exciting fight, but I'm not sure who wins. I'd favour Dillian Whyte just because, you know, he's very good and I like him. But I haven't really looked at all of the cards and thought, you know, I'm looking forward to this fight or that fight. I'm concentrating on my fight. Like I said, I'm super focused, and you know, after my fight, I hope everybody has a good fight. But all I'm concerned about is getting the job done on Saturday.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, guys.
Cheers for your time, Jordan, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers,